Welcome to the Versa Business Tips Podcast. I'm your host, founder, and CEO of Versa Business Systems, Shaheen Masloom. We're here with a guest today that specializes in technology, more specifically marketing. Austin LaRoche, he's the CEO of ATAK Interactive. How you doing today, brother? Thanks for joining us.
Doing good. Thanks for having me, Shane.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for those out there who don't know you, Austin, tell us a little bit about yourself and what your company does.
Yeah, so we help B2B companies grow through marketing, sales, customer success, and kind of the intersection of strategy, software, and technology, right? So all that to say is, we help B2B companies grow, and we've got a heck of a lot of different services that to get there, but we typically do it based off a pretty simple strategy we've created called the M2S framework, where we help companies understand how they're going to attract prospects, convert those prospects to opportunities, close opportunities to customers, and delight those customers.
Okay, so you're focusing on sales and marketing together, not so much just getting the lead, but how to convert that lead as well.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where things are evolving, right? Before you'd have kind of a CMO and a chief sales officer, and now you kind of have both of those departments that report to a chief revenue officer, right?
Yeah,
This whole
if you're doing
revenue
it the right way, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? So this whole revenue bucket's been great because it's got sales and marketing aligned more than ever before, and that's great because we all know those traditional silos were no good for anybody. So we
Right.
definitely and also, when you hire a marketing company, like you want to know that you're going to grow, right? So we always want to make sure that all of our marketing efforts are funneling towards that growth.
Right, absolutely. I mean, I keep trying to tell people, like, a guy calls me the other day. He's like, "Hey, man, I haven't really done any marketing. It's all been word of mouth. Like, what should I do on for ads?" And I'm like, "Well, you got to make sure your sales side is dialed in first, because you can get leads. Anybody can get you leads, but if you can't nurture those leads and you can't close those leads, you don't have those processes in place. Marketing isn't going to help you. You're just going to have a bunch of wasted money."
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny that once you really look under the hood, all the different gaps that exist, right? There's definitely some on just even being able to generate leads. Then there's the people who can generate leads with their sales team, is so removed from marketing that they don't even, realize they make one phone call if it's not where you see salespeople, right?
Exactly.
They just chase squirrels, right? Oh, that
Yep.
squirrel looks like it's gonna close. Go, go. So there's definitely so many touch points that you need, and there's just systems that need to be built so that those two units really coalesce.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, obviously the world is forever changing, right? Right
Yeah.
now, there's a lot of talk about AI. There's, mass texting and emailing. Marketing today is so different compared to what it was even 2 or 3 years ago, right? So,
hmm
what are some of the biggest suggestions that you can give to business owners right now to stop doing?
I would say stop focusing on brand marketing and vanity metrics and really shift more towards performance marketing. I think
Yeah.
if you're measuring anything that isn't conversion based, I get, there's certain indicators, right? Oh, hey, website traffic's up. That generally is a good thing.
Right.
So I'm not saying ignore it, but it doesn't matter. What matters is how many people are coming and converting, and however you define a conversion, right? So if
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, traffic's pointless if it's not the right traffic.
exactly. And sometimes people just need to understand what conversion metrics are, right? And where they can add different types. So one thing I always help B2B companies with, typically in the old days, they just have a form on a landing page, and that would be
Right.
that. And I say, great. Well, how about a form? How about a phone number? And how about a calendar where you can book a meeting? Because when
Right.
I'm ready to go, like I want to either make that call or I want to schedule that meeting, and I don't want to just fill out a form and wait for you.
Yep.
So
Yep.
those are just different small little areas where we want to be able to help our customers. We want to meet them in the middle, right? So
Yep.
wherever they are, let's give them the opportunity to get in touch so we can get going.
Absolutely, man. And that's pretty much been the general consensus of every marketing professional that we've talked to is you got to have three ways that they can meet you where they are, right? Like, do they just want to fill out a form? Are they kind of interested? Are they ready to apply right now? Do they just want some more information? Or do they want to jump on a call and get this thing done? Right. So, you're saying three ways. Three ways are the way to do it. call, form, and schedule an appointment, have all three options?
I mean, yeah, if you want to go to a fourth, you can do some sort of gated asset if you feel like that's going to provide value. Get some more of those top of funnel prospects. Of course, you need to
Right.
have kind of the nurtures in place for that. But yeah, I mean that's another opportunity as well.
Right. Now, so you mentioned funnel, right? So funnel is something that's been around for a long time. Um, we've just started really focusing on different funnels, A and B testing. Um, d- what is the best way to organize those, right? So when you have 3 or 4 touch points on the same funnel, should they be relatively near each other? Should it start easier at the top and get more involved as they're going down the funnel? Or, what's the best way to lay those out?
I mean, I hate to give you this answer because I wish there was like the secret, like here's the secret
Right,
sauce. But
right, right,
it is a little circumstantial, right?
right,
So I think what you really want to be able to do is make it so that you can leave any interaction knowing what type of content or what's next. There should be a next step for everybody. If someone's top of funnel, great. Put them in a nurture. What type of nurture? It needs to have content that's relevant to them. You're trying to get the right message to the right person at the right time. That's
right,
the secret sauce of marketing right there. Boom.
right,
Gave it to you. Right message to the right person at the right time. So if they're not ready to buy, you need to have a path for them to learn more. If somebody's more interested in getting a proposal going, a little bit further down the funnel, at that point you want to not just be able to get that proposal for them, but you want to make sure that you schedule a time to go, to walk them through it, because
right.
anytime you leave them to be able to walk away, they're going to walk away in some way, shape, or form,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Not most prospects aren't like, oh my god, I can't wait to pay you. How can I pay you faster, right? You know what I
Right,
mean? And so you kind of have to walk them through that. You have to build that trust, that comfort, let them know that you're the person who's going to be able to deliver the change that they're seeking. Um,
right.
and then when you are lucky and you got somebody at the bottom of the funnel, make it easy to get going. All right, if you
Yeah.
guys like this, here's the doc you sign. Let's go.
I tell people that all the time. Make it easy for them to pay you, and they will.
Yeah.
Right?
I,
So as far as like nurturing them or getting them back to the table or getting them down to the bottom of the funnel is, I hear all the time people are still focused really heavily on email drip campaigns. Is there better ways to do this, or is email still pretty solid?
I mean, I think email is definitely it's the OG, but email in general is going through a transformation, right? We've
Right.
got promotions folders, updates folders. Like
Yeah.
I don't see anything anymore, and
Yeah.
so a
It's
lot of times
rarely going in an inbox unless you're already
so
having a conversation with them.
So what I like to try and do, if we're going to stick on the email side, is really get to as much personalization with automation that we can, right? So
Right.
personalized tokens. Hey, so and so, how's everything going at company name? Just want to check in. Is there a good time to chat, right? Or hey, or instead of going that automated route, go super personal. Hey, I
Right.
saw an article that reminded me of you. When we talked
Yeah.
2 weeks
We,
ago,
we
you
like
said
doing that.
this. I
Yeah.
heard that. I heard that, and then I just saw this, and that made me think of you. Take a look. I think there's something interesting here, right? Because that
Yeah.
also shows that you care, right? When you show
Right.
that you care,
You paid
people are much more
attention, you
engaged.
care. Yeah, for sure.
You're not just another name on the list. So
Yeah.
that's if you're going to stick to that email nurture. Now, there's definitely different types of businesses that can utilize SMS. That can get pretty intrusive and pretty annoying pretty fast.
Yeah.
Um, so it's got to be somewhat delicate there. I think retail
It's
and brick
also
and
tough to do. Ever since Twilio, they got hammered, and it's just making it harder and harder to be able to even do mass text messaging anymore. If you're at a 2% opt out rate, you're done. They're shutting you down for the day.
Yeah, and so I think that works a little bit more for brick and mortar, right? Retail. I think they can get away with it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Nobody wants you to call them in the middle of the day. I'll tell you that right now. But I think one way that can be a little bit more organic, especially in the B2B space, is LinkedIn, right?
Mm.
So if you see any activity on their end, just like or comment something organically, nothing crazy, or kind of going back to what I was talking about before, if you see something that's really personal to them that you think works, you can go ahead and you can send them a message. Go, hey, I saw this, thought of you. Some sales teams really like the personalized videos,
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, Jim, I was thinking about you from a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
and if you
I
do that,
personally don't like the when I get those, I'm weirded out. I'm like, dude, you're trying too hard. Like, I personally don't like
Dude,
them.
the worst version of that I ever got was I had somebody that I interviewed and I asked him like a real tough question. He kind of just paused on the spot. And I
Right.
had my cell phone and my email signature at the time. And all of a sudden I get this text from him and he's like, hey man, I really don't like the way I answer that question. See if this is better. And I'm like, I don't even think I watched it. I was like, oh, no, no. Oh my God,
Right.
block, block. How do you Googling how do you block a random phone number? Uh, like, no, it was so that can definitely be intrusive. I think the only way you can really get through with that is if it's some sort of like educational content.
Right.
But still, you might want to keep that in writing. Just you always have to understand your relationships, right?
Yeah.
Because,
Well, I understand the customer too. How do they want to be communicated with, right? Like everybody's different. I prefer a text message, right? The next guy may prefer an email. Some people prefer, hey, don't text me, don't email me, just call me, right?
yeah,
Like everybody's different.
That's so true because like I remember I was talking to my mechanic recently, had to bring my car in, said do not call me, I'm in meetings all day,
Right.
but if you text me, I can multitask like crazy during that meeting and I can tell you exactly what you need, I can give you the green light and we'll be done.
Right.
So
Yep.
there's definitely different types of businesses, different types of circumstances, and I think it comes down to what you said, like know your customer, know what they
Hmm.
want, and that's just part of the discovery process, right? Understand what I always say. What is their version of the promised land? What is the change that they're looking for in the world? And then
Right.
how do we navigate the all the different variables to be able to give them the confidence that we're going to be the ones to help them deliver that change.
Right, exactly. Are we going to be the solution to their problem, right? So it's funny you mentioned LinkedIn. I got a love-hate relationship with LinkedIn. Right now my LinkedIn is I don't even know, somebody hacked it like 6 months ago. I had 300,000 connections and I just can't bring myself to start a new one mainly because every time I tried to, close a deal, they're trying to sell me something. Everybody on LinkedIn is trying to sell their product or their service. Especially I could say, I could talk to 10 people, right? Let's say 5 of them are interested in what I have. Most of those people are only giving me the time of day because they want to eventually tell me what they are selling.
Yeah, the classic fake
But you
fake
brought something
prospect.
up about reaching out to somebody that you've already talked to on LinkedIn. I like that. Is that's a good strategy that people are doing well with?
Yeah, I think anytime you start engaging with a prospect, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, kind of see a little bit more what I'm about,
Yeah.
especially if you're posting regular content. So that's
Right.
kind of like a natural connection.
Yeah.
Not, but certainly none of like the cold outreach or any of
Yeah.
that. No one wants the in mail. So I think we've all gone through that from a biz dev perspective of like, hey,
Definitely.
why don't we go and try and add 10 people in this industry and, five of them will connect. And,
Yeah.
I think it's much better to connect with those people that you have those conversations with. And then you can kind of nurture them just through the organic content that you're wanting to put out in the world to begin with, right? They
Right.
see it and go, oh, that's cool. Oh, neat. You guys did this with this software. We're thinking about implementing it. Maybe I should get back
Right.
in touch.
Right. Right. Now you brought up cold outreach. Do you think cold outreach is just a thing of the past that there's not even really a good way to do it anymore, or do you think there's still and I mean specifically for like B2B, right? Um, I've had some great things happen from people that have reached out to me cold. They just so happen to reach out to me. I'm looking or I'm interested in what they have to say, and it's gotten them a deal, but I don't know. I feel like it's rare. What's your take on cold outreach right now?
I've worked with a bunch of different companies that specialize in this. I definitely don't feel like doing that from an outsource perspective is really the way to go. I think you build sales teams
Right.
on some form of cold outreach, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the truth there's a lot of serendipity to it, right? You are calling me. I do not want to talk to you, but the thing you just said happens to be the problem I'm having right now. And
Yeah.
99 out of 100 times, I will hang up this phone on you. But this one time, all right, I'll give you 10 seconds.
Yep.
And I think cold outreach works best when there's some sort of mediator, right? Where it's like, hey, I saw you're connected to that person. I was looking at their website, and I feel like that's the kind of company that we've been helping a lot. If you think it's too pushy, we don't make an intro. But if you think you'd be open to it, like that would be great. And I think there's different like channels that you can do, working with channel partners to kind of get in a way that's a little, where you're going to have a little bit more success, but also
Right.
that you can kind of define a little bit of a relevance first because
Yeah.
you do have that mutual connection. Um,
Exactly.
so that's a way of doing it. I don't think cold outreach is ever going to die, but I do think tech is going to continue to make it more harder and harder for you to get through to people that you don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Now, on the flip side of technology, what are some of the best technology that business owners aren't taking advantage of enough right now when it comes to marketing and sales?
Yeah, I mean, I think recognizing that like CRMs and marketing automation tools, things like HubSpot and Salesforce, like everybody needs to be in these systems and it
Yeah.
needs to understand the transparency and the visibility they provide, right? In the past, part of the problem with marketing and sales is about to close the deal. They're, talking about this specific product or service, and then marketing sends out some mass email to everybody, and at different price and different terms, and they're going, well, what is this? And it's like, well, why
Right.
aren't we talking to each other? Well,
Yeah.
now with the tools that exist, particularly something like HubSpot, it's really
Hmm.
easy to go in if you're in marketing or sales to go, okay, who was the last person who talked to them? What are the notes? What did they say? What should we or should we not do in our next communication to ensure that we have a better chance of closing this customer and not
Right.
annoying them or disturbing the deal, right?
Yeah.
And
Or
so
even further than that, you've got. Have you messed around with Go High Level at all?
no, I haven't.
Like, dude, it's done wonders for us because you just put a tag at wherever it is in that deal, and nothing else is going to happen other than where it's at in the deal, right? Like
Nice.
if they're in, we're waiting on them to sign an application, they're not going to get any correspondence other than let's get this application signed. They're not going to get any marketing. They're not going to get it. If it goes cold for a while, then the tag changes and then it focuses on that. Like it's done wonders for us, man. Because now it's linked in with Chat GPT. So like you don't have to build out all the campaigns like you used to have to. I mean, it's nuts. You should definitely check it out.
Nice. I'm definitely, that sounds awesome.
It's a lot cheaper than Salesforce too. So CRM 100%. It just keeps everything organized. Makes perfect sense. Now, as far as marketing, everybody seems to try to go to social media ads, right? Your Facebook ads, your Instagram ads. You want to go where your customers are hanging out at, but Google ads, are they still the best bet? I mean, let's be honest. If you're looking for something, where's the first place you're going? Google or Amazon?
Yeah, I know. Every time something happens with AI, Google search is dead, SEO is dead, all that. I don't believe that for 1 second. I think
Yeah,
The reason why Google search ads are so powerful is because you're advertising to a need, right? People
right.
need what you have, and you go, "Hey, I can help you." So already you're dealing with at least a warmish lead, right? Whereas
Exactly.
social media, and especially if you got like a blue ocean product, something no one's ever seen before, you do have to go the social media route, and it's harder and it costs more money. But you also are trying to create something new and different in the world. So
Right.
good on you. Good luck. It's not as easy as those people who have something that we all know and that we're all searching for. But with that said, I do think there are different industries and different norms, right? Like my business partner, he like you put any sort of like semi new interesting fashion thing in his Instagram feed, he's gonna buy something.
Right.
He's used to trying it out. He's used to buying, buying new clothes and stuff. there, and it's like, well, I mean, I'm not there, but I think there's a lot of people who are like that. I think Pinterest has been
Yeah.
like that for almost a decade too. It's like, oh
Right.
my gosh, if I see it, I feel comfortable buying from here. Part of the experience on this platform is
Right.
discovering new things and purchasing. So it all just depends
Especially if
on
it's a
where
low
you're at.
price point. It's like
Yeah.
I read something the other day how many billions of dollars are spent a day on TikTok right now. It was like something
Mm.
unfounded. And I'm just like, it's crazy. It's really, really, it's nuts. You know, TikTok, I don't think is good for B2B, but like if you're selling a product, any product, I don't care what it is, and you're not selling it on TikTok, you're missing
I
out.
know. Yeah, absolutely. It's no, I actually just hired somebody, and the kind of the deal breaker between him and somebody else was, I've got a lot of experience with TikTok ads. I'm like, we need you.
Yeah,
We need you.
yeah,
You are the future. Because maybe it's not that big on B2B right now, but like eventually old boomer B2B companies like catch up, right?
yeah.
And it doesn't mean it always integrates, right? Like I still don't think
Right,
B2B kicks, it does too well on, with meta ads, or more so on the Instagram side than on the Facebook side. But
right.
I do think there may be an opportunity for TikTok ads down the road. That's actually something we're heavily exploring here in Q3.
Yeah. 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 I played around with it a little bit. It's I mean, even just with like the content, right? So I'll generally I want to know what your thoughts is
Sure.
on my strategy. So I've been focusing a lot on content, doing a ton of content, different types of content, talking about our different products in different ways and different backgrounds and kind of seeing what works well organically. And then the things that do well, I'm using as an ad. And it seems to be working well, but do you think there's a completely different I guess is there a different algorithm between ads and organic content, or is the
Oh,
algorithm kind of the same?
I mean, you pay to adjust the algorithm with ads, right?
Well,
So
right. I mean, does that even really actually, I don't know. I don't believe that
So
that
I
thing
think what you're doing
actually
is actually smart because
targets.
what you're doing is you're A/B testing ads through organic. So every day
Right,
you're putting that together something interesting, something you think is cool, and then you just kind of start gauging it. And you say, okay, this is resonating with our audience more than this, so let's lean in here. I mean, that's I think absolutely a smart play. Whereas other companies, what they might do is they might just try four different ads and then hope
right.
one of those works, right?
Well,
Well, you've
we
already
do that
narrowed it
too.
down.
We pick our five best. We try all five and go with the best two or three. It's like but I'm telling you, man, I've been in business 7 years and I'm still doing that. You know what I mean? Like we had one ad that did really well. It was a video of Kevin O'Leary that we paid him to do to talk about us and what we do, and that crushed it for the first 3 years in business. And then the last 4 years, been chasing some sort of response close to that video that eventually stopped working. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just other than social media and Google, what else is there? As far as marketing, I mean, yeah, you could send out mail. You'll get a 1% call in ratio if you're extremely lucky, and it's a good mail piece. But like, what are some other strong things out there that people should be doing or focused on as far as marketing goes?
Yeah, I like the idea of co-branded engagements. So if you've got somebody in an adjacent industry, they also have a following. What your customers might want is what this company has, and vice versa. There's no competition, and maybe they work well together. In SaaS, I know there's all sorts of integrations, and really educating both customer bases and introducing both customer bases to one another, because then you're kind of
Right.
grabbing some of their tribe. Then
Yeah.
you're kind of it's almost like, yeah, you're jumping from tribe to tribe, right?
Right.
And again, you also want to do the thing where it's always about value, right? So you want to
Yeah.
make sure that anything you're doing is providing value to a partner, anybody who's doing some sort of co-branded event or campaign, and then vice versa. So if you've built that audience where you have people that you can go to and say, hey guys, check this out, you built the trust, so they go, oh, that's actually pretty cool. Then I
Right.
think that's you put yourself in a really, really good position. So I would say
100%.
always looking for those like trusted channel partners and really always thinking about value, whether it be with your relationships on the partner side or directly with the customers. How can we provide value so that we're not just sitting here asking you to buy a product. We're doing something that is possibly helping to improve your life.
Right, right, absolutely, and that's kind of what we've been focusing on with this podcast and with our YouTube channel, and bringing people on like you to share that value, to share that experience and that information that's going to help them. At the end of the day, I've been a firm believer in, if you focus on helping somebody, no matter if it's helping them with your product or just helping them in general, if you focus on helping that person, there's a very good chance they're either going to do business with you then, or they're eventually going to do business with you, period. If you help them, they're going to remember you, period.
Yeah, I mean, there's a great book. It's called The Go Giver, and
Yeah.
the number one thing, it's called the Law of Reciprocity.
Yep.
So people are much willing to do business with people once they feel like somebody's given or helped them. So I mean, absolutely, I 100% agree.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it sounded like you were kind of talking about stages, right? Like going on events, doing live videos, masterminds. I mean,
It
there's just so much out there.
There is, and you gotta have to figure out where that audience is, right, and who it is
Yeah.
you're doing. So like, I love doing these podcasts. These to me, I feel like are an area. I'm not ever looking for like a target market. I feel like I'm looking for other channel partners. Learn about
Yeah,
what people do that I might be able to bring back to my customers and go, hey, check this out. This is actually really cool and could be helpful. And then
absolutely.
vice versa. And so I think people just have to look at all of those things through that lens of value. How can I provide all of the value in the world to somebody else without just asking them to watch a demo, buy a product, like really like provide value to establish that relationship, and then continue to
Exactly.
nurture that relationship by through helping. And then eventually I think you're able to get more at bats when it's your turn to talk about your product and service.
For sure, man, for sure. Like, I mean, that's kind of how we've gotten really where we are. When we started the company, we just did funding, but the idea was to eventually get to a point where we can help a business with anything. So most of the time, it's been, if they're like, oh, I'm looking for, I need $50,000, I need to do marketing. Well, what kind of marketing are you doing? Who are you doing it with? Oh, maybe we can help you, put you in touch with the right people to do that for you, or whatever it may be. And it's done really well for us, because we're not just trying to get a deal done. We're trying to help them achieve whatever it is they're trying to achieve, not just get them the money and part ways, but actually help them utilize that money to get them the best deal, to make sure they get the best return. And, it's created thousands of lifelong clients, right? Like our clients don't go anywhere else for all the things that we do, right? And in lending specifically, it's unheard of. Most people will fund a business one or maybe two times. 85% of our merchants take 5, 6, 7, 8 loans from us, right? Like they'll continue coming back to us for funding, and then their credit card processing, and then we're taking a look at their employee benefits and the tax credits that they're not taking advantage of, or whatever it may be. And then, somehow we end up having a conversation and we're referring them to the guy that we use for AI, or the guy that, the CRM people, or the marketing guy, or whatever it is. And, now we're at a point with this podcast where it's like, okay, well, we've given out some great information. I mean, we just hit almost 30,000 downloads, 10,000 subscribers. This is our
Yeah.
34th episode, right?
Wow.
It's not, I mean, we haven't had a ton of episodes. And so obviously it's, people resonate with it. People like it. It's providing good value, good content. And so now we want to start making sure that we can continue helping the people that we've had on get more customers, rather than just directly from whoever happens to be watching it from their office or their couch, or whatever. But we have a ton of customers. You have a ton of customers that each of them could utilize what each of us have. So, 100%. I agree. That's probably the best way, especially in B2B, is finding people that, that are in a similar industry, not industry, but customer base, that have the same customer base, that you guys can, help each other's customers. It's a great way to do it.
Absolutely.
So Austin, a lot of our guests have a gift for our listeners and our viewers. What do you got for them today?
All right. I'm willing to give you guys a free digital marketing audit. You can get in touch with me at www.atakinteractive.com. That's ATAK Interactive.com. We're going to do a quick little digital marketing audit, see how everything's going for you, and seeing if there's areas where you could be improving. And just want to help. Don't need to pitch in the product or service.
Awesome, man. I'm gonna do that right now. So ATAK Interactive.com.
You got it, bud.
And from there, I'll be able to schedule or call or fill out a form.
Yep. Go to the contact page and do what you got to do.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I appreciate that. So digital marketing, it's everywhere. So a free audit from Austin, who knows what he's doing, knows what he's talking about. You cannot lose. Excited for you to take a look at our stuff and see what we can do better.
Awesome. Cool. Can't wait.
I appreciate you hopping on with us today, and we'll definitely be talking soon.
Sounds good.